Many points in history have forced society to reflect on expectations of diversity and inclusivity.
I think it's obvious to anyone paying attention that the events of last year, 2020, including the social uprising and the murder of George Floyd, accelerated the evolution of diversity.
I am tired! Black trans women are dying! Our lives matter!
We have lost a lot of folks, haven't we?
As a nation, we unfortunately had to see it to finally believe it. Ads have a long history of reflecting culture. Last year, we saw ads reflecting the socio-political environment as it evolved around us, like ads advocating against racism.
My biggest fear is that all the stereotypes that we've worked so hard to break are just going to be reversed.
The American dream.
We were able to put together something that the community was actually involved in. It was a big deal.
Ads demanding action from a privileged audience. And ads supporting the continuation of political representation in the sports arena.
And when things aren't fair, we'll come together for change.
We have a responsibility
to make this world a better place.
There was a stark and striking reminder that Black culture is American culture, and the proof is in the data. We saw the changing depiction of traditional families and individuals.
Gemma Miller?
Hello, am I talking to Gemma?
Gemma Miller.
Carol, you remember my Gemma?
And what's your name?
It's James.
The power in discovering who you are, no matter what your narrative is.
It's a story about a woman that wanted to be a nun. It's a story about freedom. It's a story about somebody just being who they are and being super, not just comfortable in it, but also being happy about it.
We love each other deeply. We gon' be us.
These are our stories, and we should be the ones telling them. Representation is not equity.
Underrepresented doesn't mean under budget. Underrepresented doesn't mean inexperienced. Well, what does A-list mean? I know their name or I know their work. And so what you're actually doing is you're keeping underrepresented creators out from the process.
The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that only 16% of advertising managers are BIPOC. 84% are white. Among Fortune 500 companies, less than 1% of CEOs are Black. Today, there are only 4.
So you're dealing with large corporations who are set in a capitalistic setting that was never meant for underrepresented creators, yet alone underrepresented employees.
I believe that mass communication is the tool that we can use to change perception. If you're in an innovative space, you're not making ads anymore. You're trying to insert yourself into cultural conversations.
Diverse, inclusive companies and campaigns produce some of the most powerful content of 2020.
We've been on a journey to change the composition of our agency, and the entire agency from executive committee all the way down acknowledged the need for change. And we have done a lot of the work, and we have a lot of work to do.
Is something wrong with me? Should love my girl, but I don't feel a thing. I want my girl, but I just can't stay calm. I want my girl.
We see how culture extends beyond a cursory interpretation of any single demographic, and proves to reach and relate to all of us. The most ethnically and culturally diverse companies outpaced others by up to 36% in profitability. 61% of Americans believe that diversity in advertising is important. Companies with 30% plus women executives outperformed other companies by up to 48%. 58% of respondents stated that the lack of LGBTQ plus representation led them to stop supporting a brand.
Be unapologetic about talking about our impact, the impact with our content, our leadership, our storytelling.
We try to convey humanity, not checkboxes. We had been ringing the bell for a long time.
The more we speak, the stronger our language becomes.
We don't have to all be the same person. We don't have to all be exactly on the same page about every single subject.
When you get real people to actually see your work, and that's the best feeling you can ever get as a creator.
We've set our sights on diversity, but it has to go beyond token representation and forced inclusion.
If we can get more underrepresented creators behind the lens, we have a much better chance of having more diverse stories out there, and therefore a much more empathetic, conscious world.
It's powerful to feel beautiful, until suddenly it feels different again.
Everybody needs to be doing this work.
We're asking you to acknowledge what you are doing and to make some really learned changes.
Every cultural shift is going to have a watershed moment, this radical moment. And I'm here for the radical moments. Break all the things, but then you have to put it back together.